Needs assessment, evaluation. So you collected all the data, but what's next? Evaluation is when you analyze and evaluate the data from the various methods you use to collect it, such as surveys, student grades, and focus groups, you make informed decisions on training methods, content, and delivery. But before we get into the how, let's talk about the why. Data analysis helps us identify the specific needs, challenges, and gaps in knowledge or skills in our target audience. Instead of relying on assumptions or guesswork, when we analyze the data, we can make informed decisions about the focus and the content of the training program. By understanding the needs of our participants, we can prioritize those areas that require the most attention and allocate our time, our budget, and our personnel accordingly. Rather than providing a one-size-fits-all solution, trainers can use the data to tailor the content to meet the audience's needs. By focusing on areas where improvement is most needed, we can maximize the impact of their training initiatives and achieve better outcomes. Finally, data analysis helps build buy-in and support from stakeholders involved in decision-making and resource allocation by providing objective evidence of the effectiveness and the relevance of the training program. Now that we've covered the why, let's talk about the how. Let's start with survey data. When analyzing survey data, look for response patterns. For example, suppose a significant portion of respondents consistently indicated a need for more understanding in a specific area. This will tell you what they may need to know, understand, or do to be successful. Analyzing response frequencies allows you to identify which areas receive the most frequent responses, indicating potential priority areas for training focus. When you compare responses across demographic groups, you can determine if there are differences in needs based on factors such as age, education, or job role. Next on the evaluation tool list is student grades. By reviewing grades and the gradebook data, you can identify consistent areas of weakness. An example would be if your grade evaluation shows students consistently perform poorly in a particular subject or skill area. This may indicate a need for additional training or additional learning support in that area. It is important to track changes over time. When you analyze trends in grades to see if performance in certain subjects or skills has improved or declined, it will help you identify areas where learning content support or additional instructor training may be necessary. Focus group transcripts. When you analyze a transcript, you are identifying recurring themes. By looking for those common topics or concerns that are discussed throughout the focus group discussion, you can determine training needs. Pay attention to specific examples or anecdotes, as these can provide valuable context and insight into participants' experiences and the training needs. Determine where there is agreement among participants and where there are diverging opinions or perspectives that may require further exploration by noting these areas of consensus and disagreement. Last but not least, comparative analysis. When you compare findings across different assessment methods, you can provide deeper insight into the needs of a target audience. Look for those areas where the data from the surveys, student grades, and focus groups converge or diverge. Recognize that each assessment method has its own strengths and weaknesses, and consider how these factors may influence the interpretation of the data. Overall, data evaluation aims to identify common themes, patterns, and areas of need that can inform the development of targeted training interventions.